Hello, and welcome back. I am Arumba. Thank you for joining me. Let's play some more of our series as the tutorial Scottish is what we are with FilthyRobot.
Yeah.
How is it going, Filthy?
It's going well, except for leaf blowing in the dead of winter.
Apparently what they're doing, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so one concern I have here is just looking at the Danish separatists firing in 7.2 years. Probably not going to be an issue for our war with England, but it could be. So we got to pay close attention to that rebel factions thing and just hope that we don't roll poorly on the rebel progress bar. At the very least, we're looking at about 13 months of peace right now. So we'll just kind of speed 4, speed 3, just let time pass.
Okay.
Every now and then check on the overextension thing, make sure you're buying down those cores whenever they become available.
Yep.
And beyond that, I completely forgot. My gosh, I'm sorry. I pulled our navy off of protecting trade a long time ago for the war, and we've just had it sitting there.
Ooh, okay.
So that's bad.
Back.
Yeah, grab those 25 lights. Grab the navy.
Yep.
Press the X key to grab light ships.
X for light ships.
Yep,
Okay.
it goes from left to right, Z, X, C, V. So heavies are Z, X is light, C is galleys, and then V is transports, or yeah, it used to be.
I'm going to send them on a mission, and I'm going to send them to protect trade, and I'm going to send them to the English Channel.
Yeah, definitely there.
Okay.
Now, as far as the heavies, we want to do something called mothballing, similar to with the...
You should probably do the transports too, right?
Yeah, I would probably bring them home, though. First off, let's check and see if we have any buildings that will give us a bonus to recovery. We don't. Okay. Nothing to worry about then. I was looking to see if we had any shipyards, which increase recovery, like repair speed. So I'll grab those 15 ships and send them to... Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
Someplace safe. And then mothball them over there. That'll save us half the price of their maintenance.
An ability estate modifier has expired. Okay. That pop up. Let's see. One of our merchants abroad has returned home as a pauper after losing every single ducat. He's gone bankrupt and will not receive benefits of his trade anymore. That's useless. So we can either gain an absent merchant and lose 10% power in Champagne, which isn't that bad, I guess. Or we can save him and we lose diplomatic power and 7.74 ducats.
Was it 10? Was it 10 trade power or 10%?
It just says minus 10.
That's 10 trade power in that node, which is it's more significant than 10%, but it's still not a big deal. I just say who cares. Just let them.
I mean, we have a lot of diplomatic points right now.
Yes, but we're way behind time on Diplotech, and we have that. Remember, we have that corruption for unbalanced research. So as soon as we can, we want to take Diplotech 5.
All right.
So okay. Let's see. So now that the Navy's arrived, go ahead and select it. And one of the buttons on there is Mothball. You can also just use the H key, same key you use to mothball forts.
Let's see if I can find the mothball. Got it.
Yep.
Okay.
So we were paying like 3-something ducats in maintenance on our ships. Now we're only paying 2.25. But every month, they are going to lose some of their strength. And they are going to rest at 25% hull strength.
Okay.
See how they just went down to 95%?
Okay.
So it takes, if you're going to recover 10% per month, it's going to take about 7 months to get your ships operational before war.
Oh, I just gained 20 prestige.
Sweet. It's awesome.
What? Okay.
Okay. Yeah, cores are good. At this point, I would probably consider starting to train up some new troops. So we're ready for our war. We've only got less than half, a little bit over, I don't know, May to about a year from now. So we want to be equal to the English combat width so that we can fight them pretty well. And now we have a new decision to make, which is how many cannons do we want to train?
Yeah, we do have that decision to make.
We can make cannons now.
Okay. And so I'm going to go take a look at the military. I'm going to take a look at armies. I'm going to go take a look at England to get some sense of what they're hanging on to back there. I'm looking at their manpower, their total, and their force limits. So they have 0 mercs right now. Oh, and I can actually see it. They have 15 infantry and 4 cav and 1 artillery. So their combat width is going to be 19 right now.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So ideally, because we have 4 cav and we want to use them for flanking, we want 19 infantry if we can. We want to outflank his flank.
Okay.
Like match his front Y. Although we
well,
also
have
got
a mission to build some units too, so we could potentially fulfill that. Maybe.
Yeah. I would just go for just train a whole bunch of infantry for now.
Okay. So I'm going to build infantry. I wanted to. Yeah, All right, I was going to manually do this because I want to see if any were cheaper, but we have no modifier, so they're all exactly the same. So there's no reason to worry about that.
It's just ships that'll ever be cheaper. And I think I've commented on it at least twice now that I hate how that's the case, but easiest thing to do is just select the army itself and use the plus key on the infantry button to just auto-train them and bring them to that location.
Okay, so let's do it that way. Let's grab the army.
Just do as many as you can up until you get to 19, and then stop at 19 total. So it now shows 8, 12 is the number it will be once they have joined.
Yep. Wait, why can we only improve 4? Why can I only buy 4? Oh, money. Okay. Yep.
Yeah. Yet somebody I know wanted that military advisor that's really expensive relative to what
I want him, and I'm happy with him. He's doing a good job.
Good. I mean, there's nothing wrong with the decision. It's actually pretty darn logical considering that we're doing a military idea group. Having him earlier means that we're going to finish the idea group sooner, and we're going to fall less far behind on military tech while doing the military idea group. So it's not a bad decision. It's just that we do have other things to spend money on. Aragon has called for crusade against Morocco. The Pope. But Portugal is attacking Morocco. Little war going on down there. That's really good for us, actually, because within the next year, our truce expires. England is allied to Portugal. If Portugal loses some troops, he might not be willing to defend England.
I'm not too worried about Portugal defending England.
No, the only one I'm worried about is Castile. Yeah. I'm pretty confident that France can beat Castile on the land war, but Castile has 5 heavies.
What's the first claim cost? 25?
20.
20. Okay, so we're about to hit claims on our the little one province miners.
Nice. That'd be good to get those diplomats back and working on something else.
Because that's really what I want to do is reassign diplomats. I think it's your turn on diplomats.
Nice. Good work. So you got all the cores going. Nice little line of cores being taken care of.
So I'm going to fabricate these claims now. Why the hell can I... Let me just pause for that half second, if you don't mind.
Yeah, it's fine.
All right. So it's going to be... There it is. Stop building. Fabricate claims. No possible neighboring province to fabricate a claim on.
Ah,
Great.
crap. I'm sorry. I messed up. Remember when I decided... I said, oh yeah, we can fabricate on these guys because we're going to have that province of Midtjylland. And then we ended up switching it up to take their capital. We don't actually have a sea tile adjacency with any of those guys.
All right, so we'll just recall those then.
That was silly.
That's okay.
Oops.
Not a big deal.
I would build up spy network strength on Denmark though, and anyone that borders in that sea tile of Sealand, since we can fabricate on those guys. My bad.
That's good. Don't worry about it. Let's keep going. I guess I can unpause. Yeah. All right, so I can see the core. I liked the stability extension there, so I can see the coring progress. We're watching Rebels with 30% on these Danish separatists. It's still a while. I was going to build more military, wasn't I? Okay. So let's get a couple more of these. You're up to 16 right now. We wanted how many? 19, right?
Yes. You can also see core construction on the outliner on the right side of the screen. Here's our Diplotech, which is really quite valuable to us right now because, our naval maintenance will go up by 10%, but more importantly, we're no longer going to be considered unbalanced in our research.
Half a second as I just find technology. There it is. Okay, let's take a look. Basic financial institutions and trade efficiency and trade range isn't bad, right? Is trade range actually what it sounds like? Is that going to allow us to deploy our merchants to further locations?
Yep, exactly. Okay. While looking at the trade map mode, you remember those checkered ones that are outside of range? That increases your range. Now, before you click it, I want to hover over the green bar to see the cost, and I just want to point something out. We're getting some huge discounts because one of the neighbors, and it doesn't necessarily mean someone who borders us, someone in our tech group, which in this case is Western Tech, has 4 techs ahead of us. Someone is at Diplotech 8. Each one is giving us a 5% discount. So we get a 20% neighbor bonus. And you'll notice we also have a 2% per idea discount for each idea we have in that Monarch Point category.
That's nice.
So we have 7 trade ideas, which gives us 7 times 2 is 14% discount. So generally speaking, when doing ideas, you want to power through all of the ideas as soon as they're unlocked before you take that next military tech or next Diplotech, because that way you get the biggest discount on it when you can do it. So ideally, we want to get all 7 of our military ideas next before we take military tech 8. Depends though. If we get into a position where we need tech 8 to win a war, we will break from that strategy. But that's a huge discount. Instead of paying 600 points, we only paid 400 points for Diplotech 5.
Yeah, that's really nice.
And now we also just got rid of our unbalanced research, which means our finances are going to look a lot better. Now we're making 9 ducats a month.
let it run for just a second. I want to see the updated range. Oh, but I don't actually see that.
Won't update till January 1st. It's a monthly update.
First, okay. Well, I want to see that. I guess I should train one more army though. So let me go grab that. That's the fleet. Where's my fucking army? There it is. 21.
Remember, we got our hotkeys. 1 and 2.
Yeah, I don't think I did the military hot one. That's okay. That's okay. So did it update?
The trade range?
January 1st. Yeah, we are January 1st. So I was expecting we might be able to get into the White Sea node, but it doesn't look like that's actually the case.
Go ahead and, while you're on the trade map mode, click on the White Sea. Like, open up the province, like the trade dialog.
Sure.
While hovering over collect from trade or transfer trade, those grayed out buttons, you can see the range.
Yeah, what do you mean I can see the range? It just says, oh, it does say, must be current range 644, max range 287. Oh, we're not even remotely close then.
Yeah, the range, by the way, is the distance from your nearest core to the nearest core in that trade zone.
Oh, but that might mean that we're going to get a lot closer with...
Yeah. More important than the Diplotech is that when the Bergenschüsse and Sealand cores finish, our trade range will be impacted by those cores. So I'll probably just wait for that to consider moving stuff around again. Okay.
Right, I haven't looked at the estate interactions in a while. What do we have available?
Okay. Yeah, we need another 14 points to get another claim on England. And that's going to take us 10 months. So we could wait a year, or we could declare war now while he has mothballed forts. Not necessarily now, in 4 months. Now is the time to decide if we're going to declare the war.
I mean, we're not going to have enough war score to take everything anyways, right?
I don't know. The total war score cost for all of English provinces is 226, so we can't even take half of his land. I think we're good. I think we have enough claims. We have a ton of claims.
Exactly.
I'd rather spend all those points on cheap cores, cheap claims after we get rid of some of the ones we already have.
Okay.
So what do you think? You want to go to war now, or do you want to wait?
No, I want to go to war now.
Okay, raise maintenance then. And the last thing we need to consider, since you did train up to 19 infantry, is how many cannons do we want? Generally speaking, you should just start with 1. They're very expensive in the beginning of the game. They are... go to the military tab, F1, F2, and looking at the 3 units, the infantry, the ground units at the top, you can see that infantry costs 10 ducats to hire, cavalry costs 25, cannons cost 30.
Yep.
While hovering over those numbers, you can see their maintenance costs. Each cannon is 0.65 ducats per month in maintenance. So they cost 3 times as much to hire, they cost 3 times as much to maintain, and they have a lot of features to them that are not very good. You'll notice that they do very good fire value, but they have almost no shock modifier, and shock modifier is still the far more important modifier in the game.
Yeah.
But there is still one primary reason why having some cannons can be really useful, and that's they impact sieges. The value cannon, as I almost always call it, is 1 cannon. You will always get +1 to your siege rolls with 1 cannon, regardless of the fort level.
Cannons, they shoot, though, from the second tier, the second line, right?
They do.
So it feels like, yeah, okay, I get it. They're only impacting 1 phase, but they impact that phase quite heavily.
Mm-hmm.
And why would I not always want a bunch of cannons then? I got it. They're expensive, sure, but this essentially, the whole point, all the combat up to this point has been basically match the width of their army and try to have better bonuses so your units are tougher, right? Like you have better morale, better discipline, so that your units are better at that. And every time we go to war, like you're consolidating, so those regiments are at, top strength, so we have the maximum width that we can engage them with, all at top strength, okay. But isn't the cannon just going to give us essentially another unit that can hit that front line without getting hit from itself in a way that we couldn't normally do with the width that we had available? It
can. The issue is just, can you afford them? If we didn't have trade ideas right now, we wouldn't even be able to field the army we have, let alone consider cannons.
I guess I have another question too, which is, so our force limit is 39. I guess I can pull up a calculator since you're unable to do that right now. Mm-hmm. So we need 75% of that, right?
Yeah, it's going to be 30. I can just do the math in my head.
Okay.
it's 30.
Oh, yeah, right, because it's 3/4 of 40. Right. Yep. That would have been an easy way to do that. So, but looking at that, how many we're at right now? We're at 23. So do we want to go 7 more just to try to hit that? I mean, we could ignore the cannon for now and just try to hit that. I mean, what's the fucking mission do for us? That's a really expensive mission, by the way.
Yeah.
It gives us land maintenance modifier 10%, recruitment time -15%. But more importantly, it lets us get rid of this stupid mission. Should we just cancel the mission?
If you don't plan on going up to that number of troops, then you should cancel it right now. If you do plan on doing it, then you should wait. But yeah.
Well, I guess it's gonna get more expensive to do this later. But what do we need with all these troops? We're gonna crush England here.
Yeah. The thing is, assuming England doesn't turn their forts on, we don't even need this many men. We just need enough to match his troops. If he had his forts on, we would want to have probably another 6,000-7,000 infantry just to maintain a siege in a distant location while we fight.
Canceling that mission. Mission's terrible.
Okay.
All right. We can't choose another mission for a year though.
That's fine. The sooner you start it, the sooner you get the new mission.
Also, what is add policy on the mission screens?
We talked about policies. They are the combinations you get between having multiple idea groups.
Oh, okay. That's where I'd do it from though.
Yes. So once you have completed offensive ideas, you will have unlocked one of the policies, which is this Anti-Smuggling Act, which gives us stuff.
So we can't add this yet because we have not completed offensive ideas.
Correct.
Okay. Right.
Okay. Okay, so one last thing to consider when it comes to the cannon discussion is that you say, well, why not have more cannons so that we can have better combat in that one fight? True, but if let's just say you hire 4 cannons, then for 4 cannons you could have had 12 infantry.
Yeah.
So why not just have the 12 infantry for suppression, for splitting your army up, doing multiple sieges, replace the front line, just reinforce the fight with 12 more infantry. And also,
but surely each, but we're gonna do devastating. Like if we have let's say they had 24, or let's see what we had. What's our front line? 22, something like that.
24.
If we had 22 infantry, the 2 cav for 24 in the front line, and they had 48 infantry, and then we had a line of 12 cannons behind our 12 infantry, surely we would just annihilate them.
Late game, mid to late game, yes, but right now the cannons are just not very good. Let's talk about why that's the case. Great, huh? Yeah, go to the text screen again, F16.
Yeah.
And then in the military section, where it says large cast bronze mortar, the cannon, hover over the fire value for the cannon.
Mm-hmm.
You'll notice there it says level 7, improved by +1 for fire.
Yeah.
At level 16, they get +1. That's the point where cannons start to become pretty good. At level 22, they get pretty freaking crazy. 25, they're godlike. And by 32, cannons do almost, I would say, most of the damage in combat, because they end up with like a 7 or 8 modifier to the fire value. They annihilate things. But in the early game...
What is their base... Where do I see their base fire value? So I understand that it's +1 right now. But
it is 1. Just go to the military screen. You can see
isn't that a modifier? Isn't that like a % modifier? So right now, aren't they doing 100% damage?
Exactly.
Not plus 100%, but doing 100%?
Yes.
But 100% of what? What's the base value?
It depends on the disparity between the dice rolls in the combat phase.
Okay.
So the bigger the disparity. If I roll a 6 and they roll a 3, I'm going to do more damage.
So cannons do twice as much damage as our infantry in the fire phase.
Mm-hmm.
And they do an infinite, like the knights don't do any right now. In
Correct.
The fire phase.
Yeah.
Okay. So they're looking pretty good so far.
Just wait till you have a couple of them and you realize how expensive they are.
Okay. What you're telling me is that what you're selling me. The only thing I'm hearing right now, because the rest of it doesn't seem to make any sense where you're against them. It's just the cost is prohibitive right now.
Yeah, I would recommend. Bear with me and maybe just trust me on this one point. For now, I don't want you to go more than 2. You can have up to 2. 1 would be ideal.
I'm gonna go with 1 because you're calling it the value cannon. It makes sense. If we're just doing it for siege rolls, I'm not really worried about English land forces right now. Mm-hmm. So.
In this one circumstance here, you could make the argument to go up to 5 because their capital is a level 1 fort. It doesn't actually have a proper fort in the province. Okay. So we could get a +5 to our siege rolls by sieging down a level 1 fort with 5 cannons.
Wait, whoa. I thought it was just, you only got 1 to your siege rolls with cannons. Is 1 per cannon?
In this case, okay, it'll make more sense when we get to war, but I'll try to explain it quickly and briefly and simply right now.
Okay.
A level 1 fort requires 1 cannon per fort level to get a bonus up to a maximum of 5.
Okay.
So 1 times 5 would be 5. So to get the maximum bonus would be 5 times 1 cannon is 5 cannons. Okay. A level 2 fort requires the same math, right? So a level 2 fort would require 2 times 5 equals 10 cannons to get the maximum bonus. Yep. But again, you always get a +1 even with just a single cannon. So instead of having to build 2 for your first cannon, the value cannon in this case will give you a +1 bonus with only 1 cannon against a regular fort. If it was a fort like our capital, a level 3 fort, then you would need even more stuff to make stuff happen.
For the level 1, right?
Well, no, the level 1 you get with just 1 cannon. because the value cannon gives you the +1. Always.
Even independent of the fort
Correct.
level.
Always.
Okay.
Which
So
is
you
why
need
it's the
6
value
for 2,
cannon.
though, right?
No, because it's complicated. Let's just wait till we're at war.
Oh, God damn it, Arumba. You just told me it was 2 times. You just told me it's 2 times the value of the fort level for the bonus per level of bonus, with 5 times the fort level, or 5 times being the max bonus you could get. That's what you just told me. And then I did the math to make sure, and it's not there.
The issue is capital forts are just squirrely, okay? That would be true. You would be correct if we were talking about the next tier of forts, which is the level 4 fort.
Right.
With that one, it does go 4, 8, 12, 16,
I just lost
20.
all interest in canon discussions. We'll have to do it again at a different point.
But anyway, long story short, we should just go with the 1 value cannon, and that's what we're going to do. So we need 30 ducats. As soon as we have that, start training it. It's not going to be ready in time for war, but...
I can take out a loan if you want.
No, I don't. I don't want to ever go into debt again. But anyway, let's take a break here, and we'll declare our war in the next episode.
We're going to take a break after we train the cannon. That's when we're doing it.
Okay, fine. Be that way.
That's right.
Can you start it?
Not this month. Nope.
No, you don't quite have enough because of inflation. It says need 30 ducats. I thought we had 30 ducats. No, it's slightly more than 30 ducats due to inflation.
Nope. And I'm ready to click, though. As soon as this month, I'm hovering.
30.36 ducats. There goes our truce.
All right.
All right. Where did you train it?
I just trained it through the army manager. So
okay.
I mean,
it should be safe there.
Yep.
Okay. All right. Let's take a break here, and we'll see you again in the next episode.